I'm Shobhu Kapoor, and I'm thrilled to be an ambassador for the Independent Film Trust.
I fully support the organisation's aim to amplify marginalised voices.
Like many of you, I love watching movies. Not all films get the chance to get a big studio budget, so that's where independent film comes into play.
And amplifying diverse voices and stories are an important part of how we create communality.
So, let's rock.
Hello and welcome to the launch of IFT Studios, the new production arm to the Independent Film Trust, which we are just so excited to share with everybody today.
I am honestly so incredibly proud that we have been able to do this, and I'm thankful that you're here with us. We have got a fantastic lineup for you. You are going to go right back to the beginning, first of all, and hear where we journeyed from IFT to this space, IFT Studios. Then we are going to showcase our incredible talent. Honestly, they are all amazing individuals. Then we're giving you access to the team, us. Yes, you're gonna find out the reasons why we are so passionate about the things we do and why we think IFT is needed right now in the industry. And then we are gonna hand over to our ambassadors who are incredibly supportive of what we're trying to achieve here for new creatives.
But first, we really want you guys to get involved. This is an open space. We need everybody getting involved in this. So you can follow us on social media, and also you can comment below and just talk to us the whole way through. We'll be talking back to everybody, wanting to get everybody's thoughts on it. And the first place we need to go is, as you said, back to the beginning, because it was a pretty long journey to get here. There have been many ups and downs along the way. So I sat down with our chair, Lydia, to talk through that history and find out how we got to the point where we're launching IFT Studios. Thinking back to when we first met, which was about 8 or 9 years ago now, we'd worked together a bit in and out of the IFT since then. And then at a certain point in 2015, we decided we were going to take this on and push it forwards together. And at that moment, what was it for you personally that you felt really compelled to take the charity on and to drive it forwards?
Well, yes, it was a difficult time, and we faced a lot of challenges. But one of the reasons I started with the charity was because I had this vision. And when we got together back then and we had to save the charity and to decide what to do, because it wasn't that straightforward, a lot of work, but I thought that was my mission. That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to see the world being represented on TV and in the cinema. So that's why that was my mission, my personal mission.
We knew we were taking on a big challenge. We knew the charity had many problems, and we knew that we needed to right the ship and that that was going to be a huge amount of work. But it felt so worth it. It felt like not only did we feel like there was a really important remit, but it felt like society also was changing a lot. I mean, I remember back then the Black Lives Matter movement in the US in 2012, and then in 2013 it was starting to move over here. So by 2015, when we were sitting down at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, there was all of this burgeoning movement happening underneath us. The Me Too movement was just about to start. That hadn't kicked off yet. But there was all of this feeling in society that there was a lot of unrest and there was a lot of displeasure with the fact that there was a huge lack of diversity. It wasn't a really popular idea at the time, which when we think now is quite a popular idea. Lots of people are really supportive of it, which is fantastic. But at that moment, it wasn't. And I certainly earmarked that as a big challenge. But for you, what were the biggest challenges that we were facing that we were going to have to overcome?
We faced a lot of resistance from the outside. We actually had to sever ties with people and with organizations because they didn't follow our visions. But what was more difficult was to start from scratch. We were faced with looks, with disbelief. A lot of people equated diversity with lack of quality. I remember going to some meetings and talking about it, and people wide-eyed thinking, are you crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you talking about? Of course it has to be that way and this way, and it can't be any other ways. Count yourself lucky that you have what you have. And it's like, no, we count ourselves lucky when we've changed the system and we're really about to do it. So, but I do vividly remember these meetings of
I was there. I remember
People
them too.
looking at us thinking, is she on something? Yeah. It's like, no, we're not.
Yeah. And I think that point about, how some people have viewed a more diverse workforce as being somehow making compromises on quality, that was, I think, one of the most acute challenges we faced at the beginning, wasn't it? Of really trying to encourage people to see that it was the opposite of that. We were talking about the opposite of that. We were talking about widening the talent pool so that you got the best of people, so that you've got the best ideas, so that you've got the most exciting concepts.
Yeah, but it shows that we really believed in something, and what we believed in was what was going to happen. We really were right to think back then, 2016, 2017, that yes, that's the way that it should be moving. That's what we should be achieving. We should have more women. We should have more everything, and not just this one world of what we've always seen. We've seen for hundreds of years, and you want to keep showing us that's enough. The world is the way it is now because that's what we've been looking at from the beginning. Let's try and change the discourse, and let's try and see something else, and maybe society will change in the right way.
When you look back now of all the things we've been through, bringing the charity back up again, establishing all the programs from scratch, doing all the team from scratch, getting all the support from scratch, all of that work had to be done. You look back on that now, how do you feel now as we go into a new phase, starting IFT Studios that can help take projects into more mainstream spaces? How do you feel kind of looking back at that legacy?
I feel very proud. I feel very proud. I feel very happy. I feel that a part of me is like, yeah, we've shown them, this kind of like, yeah. They all thought we would not make it. We have shown them we are here. And I hope we are an inspiration to other people who do have dreams and do have ambitions, but don't know what to do, don't know if they're able to do it. And we're here to tell them, yes, you are. If you have something you want to do, don't let other people tell you otherwise. Just because we are the IFT, the Independent Film Trust, we had many people tell us we couldn't do it. And we are doing it, and we are here to stay, and we're going to be doing a lot more than we've done so far.
So that's how we got here. That was the journey. There are a few twists and turns along the way and a lot of ups and downs, but we're here and launching IFT Studios. And the whole way along, it's always been about bringing up that talent, finding the people that had so much to say and creating a space where they could do that. And I know that you caught up with two of our supportive filmmakers, Amate and Nadia. How was that?
Yeah, oh my goodness. I am so lucky because I get to come and work and be inspired every day by the best creatives. And honestly, I'm honored. I will let them speak for themselves. But before we go and see that interview, we're just going to show you a trailer from Amate's short film, Chainmail.
This time, for I will weather the storm. I gotta remember, don't fight it, even if I don't like it. Somehow turn me around. No matter how far I drift, deep waters won't scare me tonight.
Okay, welcome guys. Welcome to our amazing talent. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and I am developing a feature film with the IFT.
Hi, my name's Amate Golding. I'm an artist, but I'm working in film at the moment, and I'm working on a TV program called Critics.
I love it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for both of your projects, to be fair. I really, really, really genuinely am. I'm actually big fans of both of you. I was saying before, yeah, I need your autograph now because I know you're going to the top, to the top. So hook me up later, yeah, please. Right. Okay. So what impact did you want your work to leave in the world? And especially these two projects?
Yeah, I think with mine, like I want to instill curiosity into people because my project is a historical thriller. It's all based on groundbreaking new research about a working class woman of colour in the 15th and 16th centuries, who was quite pivotal in terms of British and European history, but isn't known about. And this is the thing, because if you ask any historian, you'll know that all the records generally are about men, but not just men, generally white men and generally upper class men. That's who you'll see about in all the records. With women, very little. Women of colour, even less. Women of colour who are also working class, barely anything. Maybe it'll be something like died in the street alone,
right?
Prostitute here, I don't know, baptised there, stole bread here. That's kind of it. You get a little sentence about somebody, whereas as we know, you get reams and reams and reams of history about people who are not marginalised in our society. So I would say I want people to feel curious, about the intersectionality of our past, because it's the same with disabled people. Disabled people and people of colour didn't just pop out from the 1950s. We're not just like a new invention. We've been here since any human has been here. So it's really important for me that people feel curious enough to go away and research afterwards and find out the other stories as well that we are not told about in our very weird curriculum. That's all I'm going to say for that. But as well as that, I think for me it's that sense of belonging, because if you're made to feel, I'm the daughter of a Moroccan immigrant, I'm the granddaughter of an Irish immigrant, and so I'm second or third generation depending on how you look at it, but there is still a lack of a sense of belonging the whole way growing up, whether it's that you never see your name on anything, whether it's that you're always the one who's stopped at the airport, whether the police treat you differently, whatever it might be, it is that thing of feeling like you belong. And I have seen it because I do a lot of work in education as well, and I have seen the looks on children's faces where you go in and you say to them, oh yeah, I'm an actor, work in TV, film and theatre, what's your name? Nadia. Oh, my auntie's name is Nadia. There is a switch. There is a switch, and I didn't have that as a kid. But I can see children having that now as they're starting to see people who look and sound like them in, and I'm going to say it, in positions of power, because to be honest, I think at the moment in this day and age, to be able to be working and to be able to live independently, that is a massive privilege and position of power that we have. So those are the two things I think I want people to have: the curiosity and the sense of belonging, but also I want them to be bloody entertained. Like, it's a thriller, so I want them to be scared and I want them to love how it all looks with that kind of historical thing, and I want them to learn stuff and be inspired and find it funny, because there's comic bits in it as well.
Oh, I love that. I got goosebumps. Yes.
You know what? Sorry, just to say, like, that really resonated. You know, it's so funny when you try to explain, like, see, all of these words, as soon as we use them too much, they just become like desensitized. Like, oh, that word, like when you're talking about like representation and stuff, it all just doesn't mean anything anymore, because in our circles it does, but anyone outside who we're hoping to communicate to, they're just representation. But the way that you described it, of just like, being a little girl and not having your name on anything, like for me as well, when I met, like, luckily my name's really popular in Ghana. So, well, as in the Ga tribe, even there, but Ghanaians would recognize the name. So if there were Ghanaians, usually them, you know, maybe every now and then they might be an Amate, or they'd heard my name at least, and I felt recognized, like, oh, you know my name, yeah, okay, cool. But just the idea of like being an Emily or a Charlotte or something, and just you don't realize, but you'd meet another Charlotte, you might see a Charlotte somewhere doing something. It makes a difference, you know, like just to your psyche of like what realms you're seeing in. But just like, I just thought that was put really well, like, you know, just never seeing your name on anything, you know, if it's your country as well. This is the thing, it's not like that you're born here, everyone's saying, oh, just get on with it, you know, blah blah blah, but you're not seeing anything anyway. You're always being treated differently. Like, the only thing that we want, you know, as human beings, I mean, is just to be able to just get by. Like, we bury our head in the sand most of the time, and we'd actually like to be able to do that. I know that if things weren't as uncomfortable, people would just be burying their head in the sand for most of the things that happen. Just when your ass is getting spanked, when your head is in the sand so much that you have to take it out and be like, can you stop? You're just making it, just make it comfortable enough for me to ignore it. And then it's cool, you know? But yeah, man, it's a big deal what you're saying. So anyway, it was really well put. I just thought I'd say that.
How important is that for you, being a man of color?
I think, to be honest, and this is like, I don't know, it probably changes every day, but you've met me on a good day, so like,
good days are
maybe
good.
I'll say something different tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? But like, I think when you're a person of color and also a Rasta like me, you're used to going against the grain and doing your own thing. Like, that's the whole kind of narrative of that, right? And the more extreme it is, like, the less people you see like you on TV, you're like, okay, well, I've got to do my own thing anyway. So I think it gives you a certain level of resilience. But then what you have to base things on is not a delusion necessarily, but it's like, you have to believe in things you've never seen, right? And so at what point does that, when do you need a payoff from that before you're like, do I have to reassess this? I'm believing in stuff that I don't know, but I know it in myself, but I haven't, you know. So you're already in that thing. And I don't know, maybe if IFT wasn't around, that kind of moment of realization and having to question my beliefs might have come sooner or whatever. But I feel like just at that point where, you know, I was making stuff, I was there. But actually knowing the IFT now, and like with critics, for example, where I'm moving in a new direction, I'm making TV, I have someone to rely on, and it feels like it kind of smooths that transition. So for me, I wasn't feeling it that much yet. I was being frustrated, but I think I already had that resilience to being like, I have to believe, like I said, in things I haven't seen. But I think the IFT has helped me stay within that mindset and belief, rather than having to completely build it just on made up stuff that I just know I can do it somehow.
That's powerful. That almost made me emotional, man. Sorry. seriously powerful. I have to build on stuff that I have never seen. I've never seen that.
A lot of us do that, innit? And the reason it probably resonated with you is because, it hit the nail on the head. You know, you just have to know in yourself, I'm going to do this. But there's no proof. And there are lines, you know, you'll meet people who have that feeling and have had to cultivate that feeling, but don't have the talent. And it's hard, you know, like, we don't really talk about that as well, but there's a lot of Black people out there, or I'm sure maybe, you know, women who have got to a certain place because of that vibe that they've got. They're able to say, no, I'm here, which is 100% what you need. But then sometimes they don't have the other side. And then you have people that are so talented, but they don't have that self-belief in that kind of, you know, and then they just drop off.
That's a magic revelation to put out there. When you talk about, you know, I have to build on something I haven't seen, we started the conversation before we went live, and I said, I'm so proud, Amate, of you being in that space, because I know my son doesn't have to start building on stuff that he hasn't seen. Do you know what I mean? And that's why when I see you guys in this space, it literally gives me chills, because I'm just like, it changes so much.
Just really love that point that Amate made about you're having to try and be something that you can't see. So I think that it just underpins everything that we're doing here, you know, trying to create that space where people can realise that and pass that on to younger people and the people who are going to come up after them.
It literally runs the world. This is the stuff that we're doing. It's so important and crucial to development of society. I could speak to them forever and we could talk about this forever, but you know, keep with us, keep engaging. Listen, we're seeing all your comments. Thank you so much. Keep them coming. Whatever platform you're on, please make a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about what we're showing you. Right, without further ado, getting even more juicy, even more juice, is our roundtable. You get to meet us, the team, and why we are passionate about creating IFT Studios and why it's needed in the industry right now. So, welcome to the Roundtable Talk, the IFT Roundtable Talk, where we're going to be talking about the relevant issues of why we started IFT Studios, talking about the IFT and how we are unique in regards to all the communities, all the diverse talents and all the marginalized groups that we actually cover in the work we do. I want to know for you, especially you working with us, what is the importance of investing in those people?
I think audiences at home get much more value from rounded programmes which have got a rounded people team behind it creating them. I think we all want to see ourselves reflected on television. I think everybody, television film the world's around us. We all want to see ourselves reflected in the world. It's a natural feeling. It's a natural thing to want to have. And I think the industry has suffered, I think, and people have suffered by not being able to have that.
And then think about how the rest of the world sees us. They understand us through the films, through the television, through the things that we broadcast. Right. So it's so much bigger than just an industry, you know, it's about how we're actually presenting ourselves, and this is the dominant way in which we are presenting our lived experience. And if people are excluded from that, you've got a massive problem.
That is about disabled people, that is about socioeconomic, that is about different parts of the UK as well. It isn't just about, I'm London born and bred, and you know, but it's not just about Londoners. It is about the rest of the country and everything else that's going on. So I think it's making sure it is that reflection, that authentic voice, which everybody, it's such an overused term, but it's true.
I think that's what frustrates me, is that the industry doesn't, you know, develop all the great talent that's out there and kind of squanders so much of it.
You use the right word as well, squander. Absolutely, it is squandering completely. Yeah. And there's a whole pool of all these amazing people out there. I'm repeating and agreeing 100% nil. It is squandering that amazing talent, and it's criminal, really. It's a shame.
We've talked about the fact that it's built on interpersonal relationships. And that means it's more vulnerable perhaps than other industries to unconscious or even conscious bias. Yeah. You're inevitably going to look for the people that look like you, sound like you, feel like you, who you just feel like you can relate to quickly and easily. And given that the deadlines are short on everything, I'm not trying to justify bias here. I'm just pointing it out. Just to point it out that when an industry is so reliant on these things, you end up becoming vulnerable to these other things that are a real problem. And when the industry is allowed to just continue like that and never question itself and never think, hang on a minute, did I make a decision about that person just because I thought I could get along with them easier? Yeah. Or did I make that decision based on them being really talented and skilled? Right. And that's a difficult question for people to ask themselves. Nobody wants to question their own judgment in that way, but we have to. We have to start questioning our judgment and thinking, okay, if I'm going to get the best out of these people, how am I going to change? Yeah. It's not about them changing, it's about me changing.
Oh, yeah. Those people that we hear in executive jobs that say, where are these people? We want to diversify, but we have no idea where they exist. We want to find people from these marginalized groups, but we tried and we found none. And that is another reason why I've heard that so many times. And in my circle, there's loads. Yeah, all of us desperate for an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Please, someone see us. So I'm so glad that they have this space here, IFT, to say, I'm not only going to get myself trained, I'm not only going to be armed, I'm not only going to broaden my networks. We're connecting this talent directly to the executives, no middleman.
Yeah.
We're saying, you executives, come and see our talent, and we make sure our talent is good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now studios is here to actually take it to the next level and say, actually, now we're going to the commissioners and we're getting it done, we're getting it broadcast, we're getting it distributed. And I hope that after this starts to kick off and grow and become its own space, that actually there's going to be lots of executives that come out of this space.
Yes.
And I literally got goosebumps. I want this on camera. Do you know what I mean? That literally the full circle comes, that we can start not having to have this conversation again.
Yeah. And everybody benefits all around, because you just make better programs. It's just proven. The programs that are made in the end are better. And there's research that shows it. There's 101 things we can go into later on, but the benefits are real.
Huge. I want to drop the mic at that point. I'm just like, yes, it's that. Please tell them now. Yes, that is the real truth of it.
We have to acknowledge now, especially coming out of the pandemic where we've all been locked away, people have been in front of their televisions for so many hours of the day. Yes. Not only is it where we're getting our news, where we're getting our understanding of the world around us, it's where we're educating kids, it's where our minds and our understandings have been shaped for the last year in the most profound way. Absolutely. And that has to open our eyes to the impact that media is having on society. So it's not just about entertainment, it's not just about making nice shows that sell to big audiences. That's a huge part of it, obviously. but it's about what impact is this having on society, and who are the decision makers behind that, because if that's the kind of impact it's going to have, the decision making has to be representative of the country. It can't be made any other way.
Yeah, absolutely. And those high impact entertainment shows can be highly entertaining, but also still reflect the right values, or values which reflect society.
Massive.
And I also think there's a question about, automation, where the future jobs going to be, and it's the creative sector. So many people have no concept of the creative sector as a career. Then the country's going to lose out on all that potential. Yeah. But these people, manufacturing is not going to provide the jobs. Services is very temporary. It's got to be about the creative sector. And if people are, by lack of confidence or whatever it is, people can be deterred by that.
Absolutely.
And I think I absolutely agree. And I think a case in point, the proof of what you're saying there, actually, we were talking about this morning as well, was that the amount of studios that are being built in the UK at the moment, there's so much work being invested into building up the creative communities in this country, which is such a great sign. But who's going to go in there and take those jobs? Yeah. It's all very well us having a roundtable discussion, people in certain positions having those conversations and saying they're going to bring people in. But actually, if you're the diversity hire and other people aren't understanding, that all those invisible barriers, it's all very well being in the space, but if you're not made to feel like you're welcome in that space, all the issues, all the points you've made there, Neil, people think it's a finite element to it, and you're just there to tick a box, and you're going to be leaving, and the people around you are made to feel like that as well, without understanding the value that you're bringing, without understanding the benefits that you can bring to the organisation and to the industry as a whole. Then it's going to be detrimental, because that person will have a negative experience, people around them have a negative experience because they don't understand why it's being done, and the knock-on effects actually are not to be underestimated either. Having a culture that understands the benefits of having a diverse workforce, not just in TV and film actually, but having a culture of people who understand that is really crucial. And again, that starts from the top. What you talked about, Charlotte, that starts from the top down to make people understand why organisations are engaging in programmes like this. It's really crucial.
So actually on this question, I want to bring in Soumya, because Soumya Singh is a trustee at the Independent Film Trust, but is also the other director of IFT Studios. We're in COVID, and Soumya is self-isolating at the moment, hence why she can't be here right now. But because of our sharp learning curve in the use of Zoom, we can magic her here. So I'm just going to bring Soumya up now. Hi, Soumya, can you hear us okay?
Hi, Charlotte. Yes, I can. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Welcome to us, the virtual table for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry I was not able to be there in person, but this is the next best thing.
We've been talking a lot about TV, film, kind of entertainment industries whilst we've been discussing the different ways in which IFT Studios works. But actually, one of the areas that Sumya and I have been working on a lot is talking to brands, talking to companies, talking to all those other spaces that we mentioned where audiovisual media is really important.
Absolutely. I think based on our discussions and the meetings that I've attended with you, Charlotte, and with the wider team, as it is, I mean, I think we've briefly explored not just the creation of media, but also on, the D&I consistency, how we can support some of these organizations with their overall strategy and things like that. So I think there are multiple avenues that we can explore, and it's just a case of talking to people and building our presence and raising our profile.
And I think with the brands as well, that opens up a whole new avenue of where we can really show people, and not tell people, not go in there and say, you need to do this, this, and this, but just to say, we do things differently. We have a different way of operating, and then lend that to them as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So leading by example.
Yeah. And, like we said before, whether it's TV, whether it's film, whether it's documentary, whether it's advertising, it's all storytelling at the end. It all hinges on, can you tell a really compelling story? Can you get that across to people? And is that going to affect people? And I think Sumya, what you were saying about, how we affect people, we've got to, that it's critical. If you haven't included people in that message, how many people can you affect? How successful can you be?
It never stops. Simple as. We're always going to have to challenge ourselves, and that's what we're going to keep doing. And it's good to know that I'm with people that aren't ever going to stop, because that keeps us right and our integrity to the point. You know. Do you know why that is so important? Is because what we're producing here, it's so important because the people who are feeding into it know the purpose of what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is a completely different ethos and approach to just producing and creating films,
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's about putting the people at the center of it.
Absolutely.
And really getting the best out of people and really understanding what's needed in terms of the investment to get that out.
Absolutely.
And I know that you spoke to one of our supportive filmmakers, Siobhan, who's been through this whole process with us. She's worked with us over many, many years developing her feature documentary, Rebel Dykes. How was your conversation with Siobhan?
Honestly, I love this woman. She just inspires me. I told you I'm inspired every day, and you're going to see the reason why. I'm going to let Siobhan speak for herself as well. But before we go and speak to Siobhan, we're going to show you her trailer from her film, Rebel Dykes. Enjoy.
It was a great time and a terrible time to be young and queer.
Thatcher had just got in. Politically, there was always this attempt to silence.
It was dangerous just to be who you were in those days.
I get there's a disturbance. I get a riot in my mind.
We were loud and proud, and we just didn't care what anyone thought of us.
That became my family.
We loved each other, and then we loved people who loved our lovers.
We wanted to start this S&M club in London.
50 of us lot get on a bus, and the whole world knows we're lesbians. We are.
Yeah, we were very naughty.
story, and especially what you've just said, really speaks to the importance of sharing art and how far it goes, even across generations, that the impact
if you think
still
about
lives.
it, us diverse people,
Yes.
funny way to call us, but us diverse people.
Diverse people, I love it.
Whatever word you want to use. Our stories our history isn't told in the schools.
Right.
And the only way we will ever learn our history is through art. It's through books and documentaries and paintings. Without that, it will be lost.
Oh.
And and
wow.
And it's back to the oral sort of storytelling traditions. Really, we have to tell each other our stories and repeat them.
And the more we do that, I feel we build a better, robust society, and generations, especially new people coming in, it really does change. It changes the world. So this is why it's so crucial that people like us, our narratives are invested in, because
and it's interesting because we want them to be. I want to speak to each other because we need to see each other on the stage. But even more important, or just as important, is that we get seen by the outside world.
Yes.
And again, that's what IFTs help, because they help me get I'm sure Charlotte tells you, I'm sure she did. It was through working with the IFT that we got introduced to our distributor.
Yes.
And having a crossover professional high-level distributor again opens doors so that, because obviously we want our films or our artworks to reach out into the world, to make it so that people see that lesbians are cool and fantastic and interesting and have an artwork and an art and a culture that people don't know about. We need to reach out, because the queers already know that. Yes, already know that. Well, we like to see ourselves, but we need to reach out. We need to be in the Guardian and the Standard and the Metro and the Variety and Vogue, and you know what I mean? We have to reach out, don't we?
Yeah, well, that's the real way change happens, and that's, I think, what we're trying to do with IFT Studios, and that is why I'm so proud to sit next to you, Siobhan. I know we're not literally, but to say, I wish it was, but I have such tremendous respect for you as a creative, and it is inspiring to see another person achieve what you've achieved, and the reach, the reasoning behind it, the impact, all of it is just testimony to why IFT is such a strong space for diverse narratives. And like you said, distribution, from getting a project into it's barriers that we sometimes can't even dream of. We can't even dream to say that is going to happen.
We do dream. People like you and I, we do dream.
Yeah.
And we believe, but it's but we can't persuade.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to break them down. It's so disparaging, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway,
we're breaking the doors down now. The time is now. IFT Studios is here, and we're starting the movement. Wow, that is exactly what I'm talking about. It's those characters that can authentically sit in their space and say, yes, I have a narrative, I have something to say, and I'm going to tell you a really brilliant story. She is absolutely fantastic. All of our talent is fantastic, and that is exactly what drives me. It literally drives my stomach to say there's no barriers here. We are not judging you by anything else but your talent. That is incredible.
Oh, it's amazing. It's such a privilege to be able to doing this. And yeah, when you've got stories like that, it's just gold dust, isn't it? It's just absolute gold dust. And to be able to share that with the world is just the most amazing joy and privilege in the world. And of course, we wouldn't be able to do any of it without our amazing partners and collaborators and all the different organisations and companies that we work with. And I know that you caught up again with one of our fantastic partners, Binky, from the Brixton Project, to talk about some of the work we've done in the past, because this is something we want to build on so much. We want to bring so many people into this space and find out new ways that we can collaborate to just make this so much bigger.
Absolutely. That is one of the other cherries on this cake, is the fact that our
There's a lot of cherries.
There's a lot of cherries, babes. There's never too many cherries, trust me. I'm like, it's not just our filmmakers that come in here and benefit from what this IFT space is, but it's also communities. We've done work with probation. We have done work just within our local communities, young, old. There is nobody that is left out of this story. So I'm incredibly proud to introduce our wonderful Binky Taylor. Binky, you are the partner at Brixton Project and also on the Commission for Diversity in the Public Realm. Yes. That was a mouthful for me.
It's quite a mouthful.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us a bit about them, please?
Well, I've actually just come back from there this afternoon. So, yeah, and this was the first real life meeting that we've had as a group. And I'm just trying to work out, trying to remember how many commissioners there are. I think there are 12 commissioners who have been selected from all sorts of fields and walks of life across London. And we are there to guide a process that I hope will not just change what we see through commissioning, but change what underpins it. It's about the public realm, basically. So, yeah, there is. We're talking about the process for artists and how we can improve a process for artists. But yeah, it's just really kind of like getting to a place where Londoners recognise themselves in the streets that they live on.
Hallelujah! Yes, please sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it. Every Londoner. Every different type, shape, small, shade.
There we go.
Everyone, let's all be represented for the richness that London has.
Absolutely.
For generations.
And, you know, we've kind of got to a place where the conversation is quite reductive and it's very racially focused. We understand why that is, and it's completely correct. But diversity means diversity.
Thank
you. So there are other things that need to be highlighted and brought into the mix.
Talking of collaborations,
yes.
How is it? What was your experience collaborating with the IFT on projects?
Oh wow! Well, I don't know where to start, but I don't think we have ever been in a place where we can start with a really tiny little nugget of a conversation that will just grow and grow and grow into an idea, into an exciting day. Oh, and then something really brilliant and wonderful is happening. So, you know, that is my experience of IFT. But at the same time as that commitment to creative inspiration, you are always grounded in practical, professional, get the job done, get it done really well, get it done with amazing relationships intact that grow from strength to strength. This is no mean feat, you know, and I can't I can't say strongly enough actually that there is a lot to be learnt from a process that really honours all of those things and honours them coming all together, because that makes the work really very special.
So now you've seen everything. You found out how we got here. You've met the talent that we're supporting. You've met our team, and you've met people that we're collaborating with as well. The only last thing in the puzzle is you. We want you to get involved. Get in touch. Call us, email us. If you've seen something that you find interesting here this evening, we want to know and we want to hear from you. We really, really want to broaden out our network and collaborate with as many organisations in the industry as possible. So please get in touch, reach out to us.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so excited to be sharing this journey with you, and it's only just begun. So without further ado, we will let you get on. But before we do, we're going to hand over to our incredible ambassadors. These are all people with long-standing experience and history within the industry who understand exactly why what we're doing is important. Thank you again to our ambassadors, and thank you for watching and supporting us. Take care.
Hi, I'm Shobhu Kapoor and I'm thrilled to be an ambassador for the Independent Film Trust. Really looking forward to working with you all.
There is such a need for more black representatives within our industry. As an ambassador for the Independent Film Trust, I fully support the organisation's aim to amplify marginalised voices, champion varied production talents, and support the use of audiovisual art to tell their diverse narratives.
Hi, I'm Chizzy Akadulu. I am an actor, writer and filmmaker and very proud to be supporting the Independent Film Trust. Like many of you, I love watching movies. Not all films get the chance to get a big studio budget, so that's where independent film comes into play, and I believe it is the backbone of British cinema. So I'm very much looking forward to supporting all the new, upcoming, diverse talent out there. I can't wait.
We are living in an era of redefinition, and amplifying diverse voices and stories are an important part of how we create communality and understanding. The telling of stories does not just happen on screen. Diversity is also about all the people behind the scenes who are part of getting our stories out there. I'm so pleased to support the work that the Independent Film Trust does to increase diversity and inclusion.
Hey, I just wanted to say how excited I am about becoming an ambassador for the IFT. It's been a lifelong ambition of mine to support, to help, to nurture and also introduce so many different people to our UK film and television industry, a diverse group of people. So, let's rock.